Hey guys, Andrew here again. Today I'm going to be making an outboard motor stand for some of the smaller outboards I've been working on. This is the after-work garage. So this is currently the only outboard motor stand that I have. It came with a Craigslist motor I bought a while back, and it's been great. But since space is kind of at a premium right now, I've been storing this 40 horsepower Mercury on it until I get a chance to take a look at it. And hopefully it'll be the subject of future videos, but until then it's taking up this motor stand, and every time I've wanted to work on another motor I've had to take it off and put it back on, so I figured it was time to build something that I could work on the smaller motors on. Now I'm gonna make this video today with sort of the disclaimer that I'm not that good a welder, and structurally this thing is being made out of scrap metal that I found around my garage. So it's probably only going to be good for the smaller, 4 to 10 horse motors that I've been looking at. So I'm going to set you over here and see if we can't get going. Alright, so here's my plan. I'm going to take these pieces of metal that I have left over from a bleacher project that I did a while back, and I'm going to weld them up like this so they make some legs to stand on. And then I'm going to take a piece of bent rebar that I found, and it looked pretty stout. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it, and this may be a good use. Sort of cut it down about here, and it'll sit like this. And then I have another piece of end plate that I cut off of a piece of rectangular tubing that I'll stick on here that I can then bolt a piece of wood to. This, I think, I'll probably make some braces out of to brace this up because it looks kind of flimsy. So without further ado, let's get going. Say what you will about Harbor Freight tools, they're not the best quality, but they are cheap. And for things like angle grinders, there's two schools of thought. I've heard people say get the best one you can afford, get one really nice one. I have one that's pretty nice, but I've really been using these almost as disposable items. So I burned one up a while back for $10. You can have 2, 3, 4, and that allows me to have one with a cutting wheel on it, one with a grinding wheel on it, and they really do last. This one's lasted me quite a while. I don't use them every day. I'm obviously not a professional metal worker, but for the average weekend project doer, I'd say something like this, if you're willing to buy them when they break and have a few extras, is completely worth it. So it's Saturday, and the welding supply stores are closed, and I'm out of gas. So this is going to have to wait until next week. Alright, I'm back with you. And more importantly, we have more welding gas. So now I'm going to finish putting together the rest of the small outboard motor stand I was making. So if you're wondering what kind of welding setup I'm using a little Everlast MIG unit. It's not that big. It's kind of a lower duty unit, lighter duty unit, but it's been plenty powerful enough for anything I've had to do, and I've been able to weld some pretty decent sized steel with it. And most importantly, it plugs into a 110 volt 15 or 20 amp circuit, so I can use it at home. Currently, I'm using mixed gas, 75% argon, 25% CO2, pretty standard for welding mild steel, and regular old Harbor Freight MIG wire. Nothing special here, regular welding hood I picked up on Amazon for not very much money. Yes, I have it plugged into an extension cord, but it's actually, I've been welding like this for a while. Never gotten hot, never had any problems. And in fact, if anything gets warm, it's this kind of chintzy ground clamp, which is maybe my only complaint with this unit, but it's never gotten bad enough for me to need to replace it. So, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so I got a phone call there, and it cut off my video, but basically I just kept going. I welded on this top plate. I welded on a little piece of angle iron down here, just to take some of the springiness out of it. It wasn't that springy, but I was worried when there's a big engine around here and you're trying to do something. I didn't do a very good job, because there's paint on the bottom, and I didn't take the time to grind it off, but it's pretty solid. It's still pretty hot, actually. But yeah, it doesn't move around, and it's pretty stuck. So I'm gonna call it a win. I'm gonna put a board up here so that we can clamp things onto it, and I'll check back with you. So I think this turned out pretty well. I think I can mess around with the height just a little bit if I adjust where I bolt on this board, but all in all, I'm pretty pleased. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on the After Work Garage.